I'll give you a little bit of my background, a little bit of my business background, and then some of the visions, so a little bit of order change. I was born and raised on the Standing Rock Sioux Indian Reservation in the small town of McIntosh. We were very poor materially, but very wealthy culturally. Because of the great mixture of all the ethnic settlers, the Native Americans, the Republicans, the Democrats, even back then I was building bridges between people, which I still pride myself in doing today. My parents were public servants, and they really stressed to we kids that we have to do something much greater than just for our own gain, our own selfishness. My mother was a teacher her entire life. My father was a postmaster and was Register of Deeds way back in the 1930s. I went into the U.S. Army Combat Engineers right out of high school, came to School of Mines, received my civil engineering training, and I was in the first Peace Corps group ever. In Pierre, I serve on 4 committees. I serve on Commerce, and incidentally, when we Democrats win, I will be ranking Democrat and quite probably then chair of Commerce, and I'd have some big shoes to fill with Matt McCracken, who's been a wonderful mentor to me. In addition to Commerce, I serve on Health, I serve on Local Government, and I serve on State Travel Relations. I've been honored to be the only legislator from West River selected by my peers to serve on the Xenia Health Reform Task Force. I've also been honored to be one of 3 South Dakotans of 42 Midwest legislators for the Bill Fellowship. And finally, this last summer, I was one of 11 legislators throughout the entire United States that the Embassy of Canada felt we should go up to Alberta and look at the oil sands. So those are some of the leadership qualities. Business-wise, I ran a training corporation that I launched. I was CEO of that trained 2,000 Peace Corps volunteers in 5 countries with 250 staff. More recently, I have a small business development firm that has helped start up and launch 40 different companies here in the region. My vision is very much along the lines of education, healthcare, energy, and the environment. I've submitted creative legislation in all those areas, and I'd just like to wrap up with a little of the old 60s visionary symbolism. Bobby Kennedy used to close his speeches by saying, "Some dream dreams and ask the question, why? I dream dreams and ask the question, why not? Why not a new green energy technology in this state so we can keep all our kids here and have a really great future? Why not a business community that would embrace a living wage and fair benefits? And why not for our children and our grandchildren, the right to stay in this state, the right to grow in this state, the right to prosper in this state?" When you vote on November 4th, I very much appreciate your vote. God bless South Dakota. God bless the United States of America. And quite frankly, God blesses everyone.
I have the same 3 questions I'm supposed to answer, but before I do, I'd like to tell you that there's a scurrilous piece of information which is totally untrue circulated by one of my opponents both this time and last time, and that has to do with my position on Amendment 2. I have on my desk back there the truth. First question is, what's your background, especially as it relates to leadership? Let's talk about first community leadership. I've been chairman of this chamber that is sponsoring this today. I've been chairman of St. John's McNamara Hospital, secretary of the new regional hospital. I was on the founding board of directors of the Boys Club of Storybook Island. I've served as chairman of the board of your Civic Center, which amounts to an awful lot of money that you have to do every year. I've been chairman of the library board and participated in what was then the new library. I've been on the board of Youth and Family Services. I'm now the only non-Lutheran, non-Christian member of the board of directors of Lutheran Social Services. In fact, I'm on the executive committee of that board. That's a few items of leadership. In terms of political leadership, I've been on the transition team for 4 governors. One of them when I was only 30, that was Governor Archie Gubrud. 2 of them for the same governor because he came in twice. My friend Bill Janklow, and of course I was on the transition team for Governor Mike Browns. As well, in terms of political leadership, I've been vice chairman of the Appropriations Committee, which put me on the executive committee in the leadership of the House for 2 years, as well as being chairman of the Tribal Relations Committee for 2 terms. That's not the usual practice, but the senator who was supposed to have been the chairman didn't run again, so I took it once as a member of the House and another 2 years as chairman of as chairman from the Senate. Why should you, the chamber, elect me? Because I've run businesses in this town, big businesses and small businesses. My biggest business I sold to an out-of-the-country firm. My employees received $10 million, and not only that, in times like these, I've had that experience. I had no credit, or my credit dried up. It's a longer story than you need to hear. But in 1970, I was in real danger of going broke. In fact, I wrote I asked to be written $300,000 in payroll checks that if the credit didn't change between Tuesday when they were written and Friday when they received them, I would have probably gone to jail. But be that as it may, the bank came through on Thursday. The checks were good. The business didn't go broke, and then we changed it to Hills Materials Company, and you all know the rest of it. The employees of Hills Materials received $10 million in cash for what they did in building a company. That's the reason business should vote for me.
Good evening. I'm Ellie Schweisow, running for the Senate seat in District 32. Thank you for being here. Many people have asked me why I'm running and why I'm running as an independent. First, why am I running? I'm a South Dakota gal. My dad was a professor at Brookings and my mom was a country school teacher. I also have a teaching degree. My folks raised us kids to be hardworking and honest and to give back to the communities wherever we lived. My husband of 38 years is from Chamberlain. After serving in the military for 13 years and 13 moves, we made our way back to South Dakota and have lived in the Rapid City area now for 30 years. I've always believed in public service, and serving the people of District 32 is my way of giving back to the community and back to the wonderful state of South Dakota. Secondly, why am I running as an independent? Many of you are familiar with my race. There's a Democrat running and a Republican running. I am a conservative. I call myself a common sense conservative. Conservative means lower taxes and not doing for those folks that can do for themselves. Being a common sense person is an important trait. We have 7 children, including 2 from Africa. One is here tonight. She took her oath of citizenship at Mount Rushmore this past summer and will be voting for the first time in District 34. There she is. Our family numbers 24 members now. 19 live in Rapid City, most in my district, where they're teachers, businessmen, daycare providers, and students. Younga is a cosmetologist. I am very physically conservative, and my campaign is funded entirely by people who believe in me and is staffed entirely by volunteers. So, this election, it's each man for themselves, but may the best woman win. We need women in government. Here are some areas I will concentrate on in Pierre. Healthcare. Cost of insurance is the biggest concern I hear on the campaign trail. There needs to be more competition in the insurance industry, which could include pooling with surrounding states to lower costs. Number 2, schools and education. The school formula is outdated. It needs to be rewritten to fairly compensate students in West River. Perhaps if this had been done in the last 2 legislative sessions, we would not have had the $3 million shortfall that we had. I have always proposed that 65% of education dollars go directly into the actual classroom, which would also increase teacher salaries. And finally, renewable energy. We need to briskly continue in the area of conservation and the use of one of South Dakota's greatest assets, that of wind energy. I believe I have the skills to serve the people of District 32. I'm a good listener. I'm a consensus builder, I'm truthful, I'm respectful, and I'm a little like the maverick Sarah Palin. What you see is what you get. If you're from District 32, I'd appreciate your support.